BitByBit-Code channel. In this today video, we'll be learning about the useMemo. So on the screen, you can see a small example of the useMemo, but it is not complete. So this is just an example. So to showcase you how the useMemo works and what are the scenario it requires. So before starting with an example, we will understand like when to use the useMemo and definition of the useMemo. So here, so I have just here few things are there on the screen. You can see that definition. Use memo is a React hook that caches remembers that result of the calculation, so it doesn't run again unless needed. Okay, so here it is okay. It is not complete in a simple words. So in the simple words, we can say that like use memo what it will do like until and unless if it is not required, it will not run. Suppose if a parent is having two children A and B, then if a parent is calling to A, so at the time B will also come along with A. So like here, what use memo will do, like if the parent is calling only A, then only A should come, not B. So this is the main thing to how can we stop the other things while calling the parent one. So here why we use it, so prevent unnecessary recalculations. So here basically so you know how to use the component, right? So like we will be calling the component again and again, so instead of writing the same logic, so here the same thing is there. Prevent unnecessary recalculations and improves performance and useful when we are having the heavy expensive calculations or uh, like uh, uh, ex- means whenever we are having the expensive calculations or functions at the time we, again instead of calling again and again, so we will be like using these things as a use memo. Means like suppose if you are having the searching or sorting in our application, suppose if you are using the any one of the applications like Flipkart, Amazon, so in that you have seen that search bar will be there. So like a search bar need to work only when we are using that particular search bar, or else unnecessary it should not work, right? So like how to prevent that one, so we need to use the use memo hook, so that it will be preventing the calculations and the performance will be little bit good. So here's it is a basic syntax. You can see that like create a variable and store create one name, okay, and after that create one use memo just like a use effect hook. So if you are not aware with the use effect or use state hook, just in my channel you can see that use state and use effect video with the simple examples you can understand. Okay, and after that how it works, okay, like we can say React runs the function inside use memo once. Initially it stores the result on re-render. Means it is saying that like whenever we are passing the data, at the time React runs the function inside the use memo. Means it is saying that here you can see this one, inside this use memo one arrow function is there, right? So this arrow function will run only when it is necessary, and it stores the data of that one. And if dependencies don't change, reuse stored value. Means whatever the previous value is there, it will be printing the like it will not affect to the current one. If the dependencies changes, recalculate, means the function will be going to execute once. Like it helps to avoid the repeating like costly logic. Like on the screen you can see that it is just a simple logic, but when you are writing a like creating your own application, something like a Flipkart or Amazon, so these applications are so much huge, so that cannot be like easily run or anything. So I will tell you the scenarios when we need to use the use memo. Okay, the mainly key points are only use for the performance optimization. So I have told you, so like whenever you're having the big applications at the time, like many things will be running behind the screen. So like to make the performance optimization, so we will be doing three things. One is the using the memos and like unnecessary call rendering, and there are a lot of things are there. So whenever if you are learning the higher order things, at the time I will tell you so how to use at the time also. Okay, and we were using the lazy loading also, so to avoid, like suppose if you are having home about and many things will be there on the screen, right? So if you are opening only home, at that time only home screen should be there and home screen should be loaded properly. Right. So this is how it, okay, we'll be learning the lazy loading in the upcoming videos. So I will teach you like how lazy loading works now currently. the to improve the performance, we'll be using the use memo. And then dependency, so the dependencies on all, right? So dependent is instance, whenever the data is changing at the time, we need to dependency also changes. Okay, now the common cases when to use the use memo. Now see here, I have written like few examples when, whenever using the data. Okay, filtering the data, like in Flipkart you can see that, or else any of the shopping applications, you can see that, if you want to purchase below 1,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees, at the time we will add the filter data, below this one share me. And on the application, food applications or any other applications, you can see that searching will be there, sorting will be there. So there are many kinds of scenarios will be there. You can just pause this video and you can just read the data. So whenever when we need to use, and understand the definition also. Okay, now coming to the main point of this one. So we will go with the basic example. I will remove this one. I will write RFC. So RFC stands for, okay, uh, React functional based component. And in this one, so I have written something. Okay, hello world already. Okay, I have passed here, and I have passed a prop as num is to 10. Okay, and then I will save this one. After saying here, so I will pass here num as a destructuring. Okay, and then I will create a function. Okay, const square. Okay, square value, square value. Inside this one, I'm just creating a normal arrow function. Inside this one, I will add console.log calculating. Okay, calculating something like this. And then after that, we can, so that whenever this function is getting run, so we should know that this function is getting rendered. And after that, return num. Okay, num into num. And then after that we need to pass, okay, we won't pass the dependency because we are not using any kind of memo here. It is just a normal function. Now here, after this one, I will write one normal basic, this one, increasing the count value. Okay, count, comma, set count is to use state, use state of 0. Okay, and I will write one function as a const update. Update is to an arrow function, and inside this one, set count of count plus 1. Okay, that's it. And after that, one h1 I will add as hello, and then I will add on h2, and inside this h2 I will add, okay, okay, first I will write the square, so that you will get to know that where we are calling the square. Okay, call that square value and call as a function. And then again h2, inside this h2 I am storing the value. Okay, whatever the value is printing, currently running, that we need to know that, or else okay, we can make it as count value, whatever the current value is running. And then one button. So inside this one, I will just add button as a plus sign. On click, call that update function. Okay, now everything is correct, and I will just save this one, and I will go back to the browser where I have started my server. So I will just refresh this one, and you can see that hello has been printing, and square is to 100 and count is to 0. So square is getting 100. Why? Because we have passed 10. So 10 into 10 will be 100 here. And then here you can see now, okay, I'm increasing the count value. So now this count value has increased, and along with that, inside this console, one calculating, okay, means here, if I'm using this particular function, only this function should run, unless and until it should not run, right? So here mainly there are mainly two things. The first is, suppose if I'm using this one, only this first function should run, and if I'm using the second one, only the second function should run. So for that, now we can say that we are having simple calculations. For that we can say that it is uh, rendering so much smoothly. But when we are having the heavy calculations, at that time it will take little bit of time. so that will be not good for the end users. Okay, so for that what we need to do, if I'm using the first okay, this square value, only this square value should run. If I'm using the update function, only the update function should run. Now you can see that, now here what I'm doing, I'm using increasing the count value. You can see that this calculating is getting increased again and again and again, but I'm using the only these things, right? If I'm using the count, only count should increase, not the square. Okay, square is also getting calculated again and again. So to stop this one, we are using the use memo. So how to stop that one? So for that, we need to basically use the call the use memo here, use memo. Okay, and add a space so that it will be work fine. Now before this one, what we need to do, we need to call that use memo here. Okay, use memo, call it here and enclose this one, something like this. And after that, we need to call the dependency, so that whenever only it should run when the dependency changes, means this num whenever it is getting changed, only at that time it should get changed, not all the time. So I will just refresh. So uncaught square value is not a function. Okay, and inside this one just call it normal. Why? Because okay, now I think it should run. Okay, it's working fine. Now here, okay, you can see that now I'm clicking on function. Okay, this count value button, now the count value is getting increased and here it is not getting any changes. So that means here it is working perfectly fine. So now you can say that use memo is been working behind the screen and it will be working only when this this prop value changes. If the prop value changes dynamically, then at that time it will also get affected and this count value does not increase. So this is the basic example of an use memo. And if the interviewer asks about this one, you can explain by giving this example, like it will run only when it requires, not unnecessary it will not run. Means here, if I'm running the function one, only function one should run, not the function two. Now you can see that before using the use memo, both the functions were getting running, and because of that we can say that it is now like memorized our value, and our it has made a optimization. So basically we will be getting the few questions regarding this one. So the first question is what is use memo, and the second one is how we can, what are the ways to optimize our application, and the third way is provide an example regarding the use memo. So these are the basic question like they can ask in the interview. So prepare well for the interview and for your like career. Thanks for watching the video, and if the video is interesting, just like a video and share. Thank you.